Dave Heineman has been Nebraska governor for 10 years. He ran unopposed 4 years ago, but his term is up.
And as new candidates prepare to take his seat, the same issues still remain, from property taxes to the Affordable Care Act. Tonight, we bring you part 2 of our preview of the governor's race.
Months, you've become familiar with the names,
Billionaire Pete Ricketts,
and the issues.
Jon Bruning voted to cut taxes 16 times.
In the race for Nebraska governor, there are 6 candidates, each touting their experience as the edge in the campaign.
Of all the candidates running for this office, I'm the only one who's ever served in the Appropriations Committee in the legislature.
Well, I've had 6 years in the legislature, and that teaches you an awful lot about how our state government works.
But billionaire businessman Pete Ricketts says it's not all about experience in government.
The fundamental question is, how do we grow the state? And I'm the only candidate in this race that's helped grow a small Nebraska company into a big one.
The candidates have similarities between each other. They're all conservative Republicans and want to repeal Obamacare.
So I want to get the federal government out of the way. We need them to have an army for us. We need them to have foreign policy. We don't need them in the middle of our state's decision making when it comes to health care.
Attorney General Jon Bruning led Nebraska and a handful of other states in a fight in the U.S. Supreme Court to remove the Affordable Care Act. But if the law is repealed, what's the solution for the thousands of Nebraskans left uninsured?
If we can help people take that job training so they can get that welding certificate, take that job, then we've moved them off of government dependency and into a great paying job that pays for their health insurance, and that's how they can get coverage.
So where people have responsibility for the little things, and by little things I don't mean the $25 things, I mean the $100 or $500 things. We need to make decisions about whether you really need the doctor for all that stuff. 1
in 8 Nebraskans are on Medicaid. Nebraska is one of more than 20 states opposed to expanding Medicaid. Governor Heineman has held his stance against President Obama's expansion plan. Don't expect that tone to change with a new governor.
I think that Medicaid expansion under Obamacare obligates Nebraska and our Nebraska budget for years and years and years into the future.
Finally, it wouldn't be an election without talking taxes.
The economy should boom, and there's one thing in the way, and that is a 6.8% income tax rate and property taxes that are the 3rd highest in the country.
Property valuations for Nebraska farmers have risen 20 to 30% over the last few years. In a state that relies on agriculture, it's a major concern. State Auditor Mike Foley has a plan to cut property taxes in Nebraska.
First, we have a property tax credit program. The legislature put more money into that program so that when you file your tax return, you can get a credit against what you paid in property taxes.
And the winner will face Democrat Chuck Hasselbrook in November.